Welcome back to hearing me ramble about whatever I want. Today, I am going to ramble about my top 10 movies of 2025. I want you to be aware that this list composes or is comprised of movies that I saw in the year 2025 that were my favorites, not necessarily movies that were released in 2025. So just be aware of that. Again, this list is in no particular order, but let's dive in, shall we? Number 1 was Companion, written and directed by Drew Hancock, produced by Zach Cregger. Sophie Thatcher stars in this, and she is quickly becoming one of my favorite horror actors. Recently, I binge-watched all of Yellow Jackets, and she is fantastic in that, by the way. Waiting for season 4 with bated breath. But Sophie Thatcher plays Iris, who accompanies her boyfriend to an idyllic lake house retreat with friends, which quickly goes sideways when one of the pals is murdered by Iris, who you find out is actually a companion robot with hijacked settings. So she's got to fight for her life while adhering to her owner-imposed rules. After watching this, I truly believe what the great Alana Wexler from Broad City said. Human-robot marriage will be the civil rights issue of our lifetimes. It does provoke a lot of ethical questions that I think, in our age of AI taking over everything, will be pretty prescient, so think about that. Number 2 is Fall, directed by Scott Mann. This movie really, viscerally made me uncomfortable. I had sweaty palms the entire time. So, this movie is about 2 adventure-seeking friends who climb up a decommissioned telephone tower and end up stranded at 2,000 feet up. Naturally, they don't tell anyone where they're going, because, why be safe about it? But, they have to contend with thirst, hunger, the elements, predatory birds while trying to find a way off the tower, and it is a complete nightmare scenario. The escalating tension, dizzying heights had my heart just in my throat. I was pretty tachycardic the entire time, and the movie doesn't pull the punches with gore either. If you're afraid of heights, check it out or don't, but I really liked it. Number 3 is The Running Man, directed and produced by Edgar Wright. I'll be honest, I went into this not expecting a lot. I saw some previews and it seemed kind of like a cheesy action flick. But this Stephen King novella remake starring Glenn Powell was a surprising contender. I was very pleasantly pleased with this reboot. So Powell plays a very good Ben Richards, a down-on-his-luck family man forced to enter the Running Man game so he can afford his daughter's medicine. So he has to evade bounty hunters, the general public, who supply tips to his whereabouts for cold hard cash and notoriety, all while detailing his progress to the network, a nefarious broadcasting organization. The dystopian future depicted is truly horrifying and something I could legitimately see happening. I mean, we're getting the Patriot game, supposedly, so insert your eye roll there. I also have to say, Glenn Powell, he does something for me. He's a good-looking dude. Although I did see somewhere that he looks like a capybara, and I cannot unsee it, but I like capybaras, so it's fine. Number 4 is Weapons, written, directed, and produced by Zach Cregger. Obviously, we did an episode about this, so go check that out for, a whole hour and a half full of thoughts, but this movie is about Miss Gandy's 3rd grade class, who all leaves their homes doing a, Naruto-style run at 2:15 a.m. one night, never to be seen again until later. Only Miss Gandy and another of the students, Alex, remain. The town calls for blood. The mystery of where the kids have disappeared to unravels through interconnected stories between Miss Gandy's cop ex-boyfriend, Josh Brolin, who plays one of the missing kids' father, Archer, James, an addict who stumbles into Alex's house and finds the missing children, Marcus, the principal of the school, and Miss Gandy's boss, and finally, Alex. Aunt Gladys is an icon. Yeah, she won the Oscar for this. So she is a witch who uses blood magic to control people, consume their life force. The gore is fantastic, and the end is chef's kiss. Go check it out. Number 5 is Speak No Evil, written and directed by James Watkins. So this is about an American family on holiday, which I think we should, as a country, band together and call vacation holiday because it sounds so much better. Anyway, this American family is on holiday, and they're invited to stay at a remote farmhouse of a British couple over the weekend. This British couple starts pushing boundaries, small at first, but then, exponentially exploding. And the family soon realizes they're in major danger. James McAvoy plays such a good, unhinged psychopath. He is great. It also features Mackenzie Davis as the wife of the American couple. And, I can't help but think that this would not have happened if she would have stayed in Black Mirror's San Junipero. Number 6 is The Nun, directed by Corin Hardy. So The Nun is part of the Conjuring universe, something I didn't really get into until last year. I think most of the movies came out when I was college, med school, residency, and unfortunately I didn't really have time to do anything fun then. It happens in Romania, where there is a convent that is home to an evil force, which causes one of the sisters to hang herself. Her body is then discovered by Frenchie, a man who brings supplies to the remote convent. The Vatican sends Father Burke along with sister-in-training Sister Irene to investigate the convent. Religious horror, like I said, the former Catholic in me loves it. There is this part in the movie where Father Burke is buried alive in the creepiest cemetery ever at night, and Sister Irene saves him. She is a force to be reckoned with, and the movie does not make her a weenie. She is an absolute hero. They end up contending with the demon Valak, who comes in later throughout the Conjuring series. Honestly, I think just Creepy Nuns does it for me. Go check it out. Number 5 is, 7. Counting is not my strong suit. Number 7 is The Ritual, 2017 version, directed by David Bruckner, based on a book by Adam Neville. The film follows 4 friends who are hiking through the creepiest Swedish forest I've ever seen, who take a shortcut, which shortcuts are never short, they never are, and they end up encountering an evil presence. So this presence preys on their shared trauma, which is the death of a friend in an armed robbery, and starts picking them off one by one. It comes to be that the creature picking them off is an old god being worshipped by a group deep within the forest who sacrifices wayward travelers to the god. The motor, said to be an offspring of Loki, is amazingly designed, has glowing eyes, antlers, a melded animal-human body of impressive proportions. This one actually really gave me the heebie-jeebies. I have not read The Ritual as of yet, but I read another of Neville's books called, I think, All the Fiends from Hell. And that one was fantastic. It was about an apocalypse, which, I love. Number 8 is Longlegs, written and directed by Osgood Perkins. An FBI agent, which is Lee Harker, is charged with investigating an occult-obsessed serial killer, aka Longlegs, responsible for a string of family murders in which the father kills his entire family in grisly fashion and then himself. Longlegs steals the show in this one. You've heard me, defend my bro, my love, Nicolas Cage, and he absolutely kills it in this role. All sorts of creepy and off-putting. Lee Harker is also great. She's a good protagonist. She's neurodivergent with a touch of clairvoyance. I'll be honest, the first 3/4 of the movie, I was very confused, but it rolls it all up, and damn, it is good. I have not rewatched it yet, but I have a feeling that it will be better on rewatch. Number 9 is The Substance, written, directed, and produced by Carol Fargiet. I don't know if I said that right, but it sounded cool. This actually won the Academy Award for Best Makeup and Hairstyling. This movie is a social commentary on the societal pressures put upon women's body and the process of aging. The practical effects are killer. The satire is on point. Demi Moore plays Elizabeth Sparkle, an aging Hollywood star who finds herself being replaced by someone younger and hotter. She begins using the substance, which turns her into a younger version of herself for 7 days, Sue. Now, the thing about the substance is you need to respect the balance, meaning 7 days as Elizabeth Sparkle, 7 days as Sue. However, Sue, assumes Elizabeth's mantle and starts double dipping, spending more and more time as her younger self to the detriment of Elizabeth's vitality and sanity. Number 10 is Presence, directed by Steven Soderbergh. I love the way that this movie was shot. It's shot from the point of view of the presence. This family, moves into this new house and this presence is watching them. Clearly, this is a family that is in crisis. The daughter's struggling due to the untimely death of a friend, and she starts engaging in risky behavior, getting into drugs, drinking, and hanging out with a rather unsavory individual. The presence is watching these family dynamics break down, and at times it is able to influence its surroundings, which makes it seem a bit like a typical haunting. I don't want to spoil the twist, but it flabbergasted me, and the way that this movie was shot is just gorgeous. It also has Lucy Liu, which I am a sucker for a beautiful woman. Really, truly, all of these movies are great. Go check them out. Tell me if you agree. And again, I will be working on a top 10 list of 2026, so check back in for that, why don't you? Stay spooky.